We are back on this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's the 15th day of December, just 10 days until Christmas. It's a Thursday, according to my calendar. I am Dan Kuntz. It's going to be a busy show for you today. Lots going on, including some breaking news of a significant structure fire in the Monitor area. We're going to get to that here when we get to the newscast in the not-too-distant future. Of course, we had that fatality collision on Blewett Pass yesterday that blocked the roadway for about 6 hours. We have the details on that. As far as the weather is concerned, very dense freezing fog right now. In the Wenatchee Valley, our PTZ cameras aren't going to be able to show us a great deal. That's just the nature of the beast right now. Can't see much, but it's pretty easy to see where you're going here compared to out in the Columbia Basin. I was looking at some of the cameras not long ago on the DOT's website. They have a string of cameras along the I-90 corridor. Visibility in Moses Lake and Ritzville, in that area there, which is prone to freezing fog and dense fog. Visibility there is about a quarter of a mile. That's white-knuckle driving when you're driving down an interstate and you can't see where you're going. Extremely dense fog out there, and a lot of it is freezing fog. So, again, that concern about black ice is out there. It's 18 degrees, by the way, in the Wenatchee Valley. Forecast details are coming up. They're still not quite locked in on what's going to happen in the middle of the next week. It's one of two very different scenarios. It could be cold and dry, or we could get a lot of snow. There's an Arctic air mass that's going to come in. The question is, how fast is it going to come in, how intense it's going to be, and how much moisture will be associated from a southwesterly flow. All of this is kind of up in the air. The details that we can give you, we will give you. And it is Thursday. Pause for pets, and that means Lady Roderick needs a home. Lady Roderick is a cat. We'll introduce you to her from our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. It's a busy show. Let's get right to it at 2 minutes after the hour with whatever cameras are available to us that we can see. We're going to downtown Wenatchee, to the Cascadian, pointed to the north, very light traffic. And again, you can see how dense that fog is. It's pretty thick. Now, again, it's pretty easy in Wenatchee to see. It's the Columbia Basin that's really got some bad, thick, freezing, dense fog to deal with. We can't even use the camera at Wenatchee Heights because there's simply nothing to see. But up at Billy Goat, do we have a view up at Billy Goat there, Uriah? We do. That's up at Billy Goat, so it's a little clearer up there. Now, keep in mind, that camera is high up there, over a mile above sea level, so you can make out a little bit of Brewster. But Terrace is obscured by clouds, can't see the Methow River, but you can see the sun beginning to get the job done. We're still on 8 hours and 29 minutes of daylight. That hasn't changed. Sunrise is 1 minute later, but sunset is 1 minute later. So we're still at 8 hours and 29 minutes with sunrise at 7:42 and sunset at 4:11. Yesterday's high 33, normal high 33. Pretty normal day temperature-wise Wednesday. Off to Tumwater we go. And again, it's soaking in as much light as it can off into the distance. Somewhere down there is the Leavenworth area. Good morning to Leavenworth. That place has been hopping. It's prone to happen this time of the year in the Bavarian Village. And to the basin we go. Ephrata. We should see the area. A beautiful view of the sun coming up on Ephrata. Look at that dense cloud, low-hanging clouds in the Ephrata area. Good morning to Ephrata, the seat of Grant County, and the sun's getting the job done there. It will be burning off the clouds and the fog, as it will be here in the Wenatchee Valley. But again, very dense freezing fog in the Columbia Basin. That's a good example of that. You can just see it hovering over there. And as far as freezing fog is concerned, we got it again in the morning hours, early morning hours, until about mid-morning is when your visibility is going to be really bad. Again, it's very bad visibility out in the Columbia Basin, and that means you might be able not to see where you're going. So slow down. You just use your common sense and turn on those, make sure your headlights are not on the high beam. That doesn't do you any good. But if you're heading out in the Columbia Basin on I-90, by the time you get to Quincy, you climb up over the hill at Trinidad, you'll notice the fog is very thick and very dense in that area, and will be for quite some time. From Apple Valley Honda and the National Weather Service, your forecast. And again, there is some uncertainty of what we're going to expect when we get to the middle of next week. The next 72 hours are pretty confident. Once this fog burns off, the sun will make its presence felt again, like it has been the last few days. 28 for the high, so it's going to be cooler today because we're off to a cooler start. Yesterday at this time it was 25. Now it's 18. 17 for the overnight low tonight. We do it again, maybe a few more clouds and certainly cooler temperatures on Friday. Again, it's going to take us a while to warm up. Only 23 for the afternoon high. Saturday, some clouds, some fog, a chance of snow on Saturday, not until Saturday night, and even then, it's really not much of it. But the chance of snow Monday night, Tuesday, and Tuesday night has now increased. They say we have about a 40% chance of light snow, maybe a little scattering of snow here and there. No significant snow yet. Now, again, this forecast is very fluid because the National Weather Service they're being honest with us. They say our computer models just are not agreeing with each other, so they're really keeping their cards close to the vest on what we can expect next week weather-wise. Could be one of two extremes. It's 6 minutes after the hour, 1 minute break, and then your headlines. You're watching a Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel. Ho, ho, ho! Santa wants you to shop at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. They have a huge variety of fun Christmas items in their Christmas cottage. There's so much to choose from, and it changes day to day. Santas and snowmen, holiday dishes and decor, village pieces and ornaments. To add to your collection or start something new, you can't beat the prices. What's old is new again for you in the Christmas cottage at the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center.
Green Motion is Central Washington's home for affordable e-bikes. They carry 5 models of Class 2 e-bikes, including folding models that fit right in the trunk of your car, and full-size mountain bikes with front suspension. All e-bikes include 5 levels of pedal assist and a throttle, allowing you to travel up to 30 miles with ease. The USB port can charge cell phones and other electronics right from your bike. You fell in love with your first bike, now fall in love again with a new Green Motion e-bike, located in the Mills Brothers building on the corner of Palouse and Wenatchee Avenue.
Misty and foggy and low clouds, 18 degrees. We'll see some sunshine this afternoon. Highs will be in the upper 20s. A gradual cooling trend into the weekend. The sun will be taking most of the weekend off. Could see a little snow on Saturday night and Sunday at 7 minutes after the hour. Let's go to the footage here. Details on this fire out of Monitor. We don't have a lot of. I'll give you what we can. First of all, we understand it's an older brick structure just past downtown Monitor, if there is such a thing. Right now, Main Street is closed at that intersection of Easy Street, the stoplight. I think we're all familiar with the heads you into Monitor. So you can't go over the bridge. It's closed at Warehouse Road and Pioneer Way. That's just past the railroad tracks. Again, a significant structure fire in the Monitor area, an older building that has been repurposed for other usages. We are endeavoring to get some more information on this fire, and if we do before this show is over, we will certainly pass that along to you. One person was killed and 3 other people were injured in a pickup when a pickup lost control, collided head-on with a semi. This happened yesterday morning on Blewett Pass. The wreck closing Blewett Pass in its entirety at the accident site for about 6 hours. Washington State Patrol Trooper Jeremy Weber said the full-size GMC pickup was being driven southbound at about 9:15 yesterday morning. They were 6 miles north of the summit. The pickup apparently slid on the icy roadway, crossed into the northbound lane. It collided with the semi. A passenger in the pickup, 22-year-old Donaciano Servin of Chelan, was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the pickup and another passenger, 46-year-old Donaciano Servin Marquez and 61-year-old Adelia Dia Marquez Hernandez, both of Chelan, they were transported to Central Washington Hospital with undisclosed injuries. The driver of the semi, 60-year-old Kenneth B. Davis of Auburn, was transported to Central Washington Hospital. He was treated and released. The accident remains under investigation. A man was injured Tuesday afternoon when his vehicle flipped and went down an embankment. This happened on Highway 28, about 6 miles east of East Wenatchee, according to Kay McKellar of the Wenatchee Valley Fire Department. She said just before 4:30 Tuesday afternoon, another motorist reported the accident, then assisted the driver. The driver was able to get out of the upside-down vehicle that was 10 feet down an embankment. The man was transported to Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee with glass cuts to his hand. McKellar said the assisting motorist was able to stop the bleeding before emergency crews arrived. The Washington State Patrol is investigating that accident. The Wenatchee School Board has elected its new leadership for 2023. Maria Iniguez was elected among the members of the school board. She will be the president of the school board beginning January 1st. She takes over from Martin Barron. Julie Norton becomes the board's vice president. The school district serves about 7,000 students in the Wenatchee area, and they'll begin attacking the budget when the board reconvenes in January. The attorney who has advised Wenatchee's officials on legal matters is retiring from that position after 19 years. Steve Smith with Davis R. Neal has been Wenatchee's city attorney since 2004. The job has kept him working alongside the city council and the mayor to guide them through the legal aspects of civic leadership. Smith will continue working with the Davis R. Neal law firm once he steps away from his role as city attorney. His law partner, Danielle Marchant, will become the city's chief lawyer beginning on January 1st. Wenatchee Valley College's outgoing president, Dr. Jim Richardson, and his wife Kim received the Outstanding Friends of the College award. The Wenatchee Valley College Foundation said the couple has transformed both the college and the foundation during their time in the community. Jim Richardson, the longest serving president in college history. President from 2005 to just recently, he oversaw the development of the new academic program and the construction of several new buildings. Kim Richardson served as a board member of the foundation and was active in many college events. The 12th Legislative District doesn't look like it used to, and for Representative Keith Gaynor said it doesn't feel like it used to either. Of course, the 12th District was redrawn due to population changes after the census and now includes more territory west of the Cascades. Gaynor told a meeting Tuesday of the Chelan County Tri-Commission that it's time to balance new legislative needs when lawmakers go back to Olympia next month.
So we've spent a lot of time on the west side. The only time that I can recall, the furthest west I think we've gone, and maybe it's a little bit south actually, was when we had part of Kittitas County. Cle Elum was at one time part of the 12th, but we've always been east of the Cascades. And so what we have now with the different outline of our district are some competing interests. So it'll be a real challenge for us to make sure that we're aware of those King County interests, which are being represented by North Bend and Carnation, and the two cities that we have to deal with, and then also Snohomish County, which is primarily the Monroe, Sultan, Startup, Gold Bar people, and then of course Skykomish is there too, which is an interesting outlier of King County. But to get to surely the logistics of getting to our district is going to be a little bit more of a challenge too. We found though that there are a lot of things that are similar. Some of the issues that with the DOT, we have some significant issues with Highway 2, and we've got Monroe, Sultan, and Leavenworth that all have similar concerns about congestion and making sure that traffic flows. And so as we sit down and talk about priorities on the Transportation Committee, which I hope to be on again, we haven't gotten our committee assignments yet, but we should be getting them possibly even today. We have to try and maximize the dollars that we do have.
And finally, on this Thursday, the story is out of Yakima, but it's such a cool story, we're going to do it anyway. The Yakima Police Department said last Saturday morning, after that big snowstorm hit the area, Officer Casey Hampton radioed in to say he'd be assisting an elderly woman. Well, a fellow officer happened to be in the area, so he drove by to check out what was going on, and that's what he saw. Hampton hand-shoveling the 78-year-old woman's driveway. The department said Hampton had stopped after seeing the woman out there trying to shovel it out herself and said, "Nah, I'll do it." That's kind of a cool story. And that's the news at 14 minutes after the hour. It's going to be a very busy news day, so stay very close to our Facebook page and our website throughout the course of the day today, and then we'll have a newscast for you tonight at 5, 6, and 10. And with the preview, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we will bring you our weekly Pause for Pets feature with the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Our cool, dry weather continues for the next couple of days with possible snow by late this weekend. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And coming up in sports, Eric Granstrom will bring you the latest in area high school, college, and pro sports. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. And if you have a news story, please get a hold of us. You can go to our website and click in there. Just contact us, fill out the form, pretty straightforward. You can use our Facebook page on the Messenger app, or you can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com. Seahawks have a football game tonight against the 40 Winers. Sports is 1 minute away. Watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
When I was about 16, I got in a relationship. He hit me for the first time in front of his daughter. He physically abused me in front of my children. I couldn't do it no more. Sage was there for me when I needed them. I didn't hear a lecture from them. I didn't hear anything, but just acceptance. And that's what I needed at the time. And they help you with everything that you need to move on in life and heal.
NCW Life Channel is your home for local sports with the Wenatchee Panthers and East Mont Wildcats right here. Coverage brought to you by Abby's Pizza, Biosports Physical Therapy, Clean Connection, Coldwell Banker Cascade, Confluence Health, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Highlander Golf Course and Grill, Kennedy Real Estate Group, Les Schwab, Sangster Motors, Save Mart, and Together for You. Follow all the action right here on the NCW Life Channel.
16 minutes after the hour, Seahawk fans want to forget the last time the Seahawks played on Thursday Night Football. It was Week 5 against the Rams. Russell Wilson broke his finger, and that was the end of that, pretty much. Seahawks missed the playoffs, of course. Well, the Hawks are hoping for better luck tonight. They got the 49ers at Lumen Field. Pete Carroll's record under the lights on Thursday Night Football is 10-2, and he says there's a reason for that. We're pretty good at playing Thursday night.
Well, there is some talk about, it's Thursday Night Football, and that's a big deal. And, we have our way, that we handle this, and we've approached it pretty successfully over the years, and there is a mentality. I don't care about talking about it, but there is a way to go about it, and it is performing like you're capable, under these circumstances, and that's a lot easier said than done. This thing's really hard on the players. I mean, I get it. We get the pub of it and all, and it's a fantastic event. We're fortunate to have a chance to play in it, and our guys all like it. It's just really challenging. This is the most challenging thing that we ask of our players, is to come back Sunday to Thursday.
Seattle's defense is going to have to stop Christian McCaffrey. He came over to the 49ers in a midseason deal, and since he's been with the 49ers, he's already scored 6 touchdowns.
His versatility is rare and complete. There's nothing that he doesn't do well. He does everything, and I mean that also in the throwing game, of all the variety of things that he does in the passing game. He plays like a receiver, and he plays like a running back coming out, and they utilize him, and they're really good at utilizing him for matchups and things like that. The running game part of it, he can run it all, and he's very opportunistic. He rarely misses a read. He rarely misses a chance to take advantage of the defense, and so you're getting his best shot every snap, and he's a tremendous competitor. So he's got it all.
To lighten the mood at yesterday's news conference, a lot of members of the media wore Nike Monarchs, just like Coach Carroll, and he noticed.
I think that's a fashion statement being made by some of your media folks here.
They're comfortable.
When you go Monarchs, you can't go wrong. Just remember, not only can you look great like you look now, but you can go bowling in those. You can mow the front lawn. You can just about you can jog. You can do pickleball is probably the footwear of choice for pickleball, I'm sure. We're looking pretty good.
Seahawks and the 49ers, 5:15 kickoff, Amazon Prime, and Q13 in Seattle. Haley Van Lith up to her old tricks last night in women's college basketball. She scored a team-high 19 points to help Louisville beat Bellarmine 73-43 on the road.
That was a nice pass from Browning, but bounced too high for Coatney. And here comes Louisville. Van Lith steps through and scores. And Bellarmine did a good job of that in the first quarter.
They really did, and they have to continue that.
That's what they did not do a good job of, turning it over, and Van Lith turns it into points. 73-43, the final score.
Louisville's played 12 games this year, and Haley Van Lith has led her team in scoring in 8 of those 12 games. The Cougars are in the L.A. area getting ready for a bowl game on Saturday. The Cougars will take on Fresno State. It's the Jimmy Kimmel L.A. Bowl. At SoFi Stadium, the Bulldogs feature an offense very similar to the Huskies, which makes sense since the former Husky coach, since the coach of the Huskies last year was the coach of Fresno State.
I think there's definitely similar elements to it. I think they're a little bit more RPO in the base down packaging, but you can see both teams want to go down the field, and the third down schematics are very similar. So, that's at least a carryover for our guys from that last week to this quick bowl turnaround.
Coach Dickert says the Cougars, Coach Dickert is coaching, of course, in his first bowl game. He took over midseason last year. Says he's pretty excited for the challenge on Saturday, especially for his seniors.
You know, I was at the University of Wyoming for 3 years, so I got a chance to go against Coach Tedford and, you know, just have a lot of respect for him. The fundamentals, the toughness of his football teams, you know, how multiple they are, and I think how well coached they are from top to bottom, offense, defense, and special teams. So it's just a good experience. You know, to get this reward of playing in a bowl game, I think is something special that, you know, we've been talking a lot to our guys that enjoy it, live in this moment. You know, we have 13 seniors that, you know, who knows if they'll put the pads back on. So enjoy these times, enjoy these moments together, and, you know, it's going to be a heck of a game against Fresno.
Cougars and the Bulldogs in the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. It's Saturday afternoon, 12:30 on ABC. The Huskies, of course, they still have a couple of weeks to prepare. They'll take on Texas in the Alamo Bowl. This will be a good one. The Huskies finished the season 10-2. They're ranked 12th. The Longhorns 8-4. They'll have that in San Antonio 2 weeks from today, 6 o'clock on ESPN. Seattle Kraken wrap up their 4-game road trip this afternoon. They're in Raleigh, North Carolina. They take on the Hurricanes at 4 o'clock. The Kraken are 1-2 on the road trip. They'd love to finish off strong before they return home. You can watch it on Root Sports Northwest. Moses Lake got back on the winning track in high school wrestling last night. No problems with Eastmont. 65-12. Coming up tonight in wrestling, Cascade hosts a double duel. And we'll take on Cashmere at 6, and Chelan will take on Quincy. Then at 7, it's Chelan and Cashmere, and Quincy taking on, Chelan and Cascade, and Quincy takes on Cashmere. Now I'm confused. Wenatchee's on the road at Eisenhower tonight at 7. Afraid will host East Valley. It is kids swim, everybody into the pool. Wenatchee will host Chiawana and Pasco at 4 o'clock. Lions Pool in Yakima will be the site for Eastmont and West Valley, as well as Moses Lake and Davis. Not a lot of going on in girls basketball tonight, but there is your schedule. Soap Lake will host Bridgeport. Manson visits Liberty Bell, and Pateros welcomes Antioch. And in boys basketball last night, one final to pass along. Tenaska took care of Oroville. Coming up tonight, Waterville-Mansfield travels to Columbia Hunters at 6. At 7:30, you got Bridgeport at Soap Lake, Manson at Liberty Bell, and Antioch at Pateros. And those are just some of the games that people are playing, or scheduled to play anyway. On this Thursday, the 15th day of December, I swear when I did my research for the obscure holiday, we just did this, but it turns out we didn't. It's National Cupcake Day today. Whoever came up with the idea of a cupcake, God love them. The original, the history of cupcakes is pretty much unknown. The history of why December 15th is National Cupcake Day, I don't know either. I don't care. I love them. Enjoy a cupcake today. I had a whole bunch of notes on cupcakes. We got other things to do, like today. In history, happy birthday to the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. The Bill of Rights went into effect on this date, December 15, 1791, when the Virginia General Assembly approved it, and that made it the law of the land, the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. In commemoration of that, the President, George Washington, had 14 handwritten copies of the Bill of Rights made, one for each of the original 13 colonies and one for Congress. Georgia, Maryland, New York, and Pennsylvania, their handwritten copies of the Bill of Rights are gone. They don't know what happened to them, lost. It's believed that New York's copy was lost in a fire. 2 unidentified copies of the missing 4 did eventually turn up, Georgia and Maryland, they believe. One is in the National Archive, and the other is in the New York City Public Library. North Carolina's copy was stolen by a Union soldier during the Civil War. In an FBI sting operation 19 years ago, they got it and they returned it to North Carolina. And the copy retained by the first Congress is the one that you can see in the National Archives alongside the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Happy birthday to the Bill of Rights. 83 years ago today, Gone with the Wind made its world premiere in Atlanta at Lowe's Theater in downtown Atlanta. This was Atlanta, Georgia, and it was 1939. And even though there were a lot of African Americans in the cast of Gone with the Wind, none of them were invited. Because, well, you know why they weren't invited. When you adjust for inflation, Gone with the Wind is still the highest grossing motion picture of all time. It's not even close to that. If you just go by the number of tickets sold, it is the most popular movie of all time. Again, not even close. 10 years after it premiered on this date in 1939, they figured by 1949, half of all Americans had seen the movie Gone with the Wind. 3 years after its premiere, the guy who owned the movie, the producer David L. Selznick, liquidated his company for tax purposes, so he sold his share of the film to his other partner, John Whitney, sold it for $500,000. John Whitney turned around and sold the film to MGM for $3 million. Smart move, John. It made its network television debut on NBC in November of 1976. NBC paid for $5 million to televise Gone with the Wind. It's a 4-hour movie. They did it over 2 nights. It remains to this day the highest rated movie ever shown on television. Think about that. An estimated half of all Americans had seen Gone with the Wind by 1949. It has not aged well. It just hasn't. There's some parts of that movie that just... Anyway, Gone with the Wind is 83 years old today. And finally, December 15th, 1973, that would make it 49 years ago today, 11,700 fans watched as the Tennessee Volunteer men's basketball team defeated the Temple Owls 11-6 to win the Volunteer Holiday Classic. This is a men's basketball score between 2 Division I schools, Temple and Tennessee. The final was 11-6. There was no shot clock. So Temple just held on to the ball. After the game, Tennessee held an inter-squad scrimmage for the 12,000 fans in attendance so they could actually watch a basketball game. That's a 11-6 in a men's college basketball score. That's why they have a shot clock. Birthdays at 26 minutes after the hour. One of the richest men who ever lived, J. Paul Getty, the founder of Getty Oil, made his fortune in oil wells, not only in Texas, but really in Saudi Arabia. He spoke Arabic, and so he went over to Saudi Arabia and cut a deal with the kingdom to drill for oil, paid nothing for it, and made billions of dollars. He was a strange, weird guy. When his son was kidnapped in 1973, the kidnappers wanted $17 million in ransom, which for J. Paul Getty was like pocket change. He probably could have dug it out of his ashtray. He refused to pay. Eventually, he paid the $2 million to get his kid back. He did his laundry by hand because he didn't want to pay to have his laundry professionally done by a dry cleaner. And he had a payphone installed in his mansion. So if you were staying at J. Paul Getty's house and you wanted to make an outside phone call, you had to pay for it. J. Paul Getty, born in the state in 1892. John Hammond, born in the state in 1910, died at the age of 76 in 1987. John Hammond, as the head of A&R, Artists and Repertoire for Columbia Records, discovered and signed Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Billie Holiday, Count Basie, Pete Seeger, Aretha Franklin, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and George Benson. And he was the very first ever inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for Lifetime Achievement, John Hammond. Thank you, John. And thank you, Alan Freed, the man who coined the term rock and roll. Alan Freed, also among the very first inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, was born on this date 101 years ago. The music lives on. 28 minutes after the hour. We still have an opinion to get to from my Mad Dog McNaughty. We're going to replay the interview I did with Linda Haglund from the WDA. It's got some pertinent information there. But first things first, Lady Roderick needs a home. It's Pause for Pets.
Lady Roderick came in a few months ago as probably a 6-month-old kitten. Now she's about 8 to 9 months old. So she's fully grown. She is honestly the sweetest cat that we have here. She's pretty quiet. She loves attention. Will greet people at her kennel door and clearly loves love. Lady Roderick is special because she is FVLV positive, which means that she needs to be the only cat in your house, or she could be with other cats that also have FVLV. It's feline leukemia virus, and it is contagious to other cats. So if you want a single cat home, she's honestly the perfect cat. She's very healthy besides her positive diagnosis, but we haven't seen any flare-ups from any upper respiratory illnesses since she's been here. She really just wants to love people, hang out, cuddle. Oh man, she loves cuddling.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and closed 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. for quiet hour. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the dealer.
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care. They speak your car's language.
Dankeschön.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35-plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, at home, we rarely watch network TV, but once in a while, like we watch the national news, or in the morning when we're out of town staying at a motel or something, we might watch HGTV or find a station that's playing Law and Order, particularly SVU. Yeah. But being Netflix and Amazon Prime junkies, network TV drives us crazy. 6 minutes of a show and the same amount of time watching commercials? I mean, it's ridiculous. No wonder streaming services are taking over TV entertainment. I mean, how many stupid drug commercials or ads for toilet paper can someone stomach when you're trying to enjoy reruns of Leave It to Beaver or a new episode of This Is Us? Gosh, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Bear Foods is the small town store with the big time inventory. Join the growing movement to better nutrition with everything you need to improve your well-being. Bear Foods is more than a health food store. It's your good food store in downtown Chelan.
This Christmas, shipping and receiving is more important than ever. Jerry and Sherry are here to help. Mailboxes Chelan provides everything you need to get that special gift delivered for the holidays. Given this year's challenges, you must ship early. Visit Mailboxes Chelan today.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
Welcome back to the program. She just got back. She just got back from the 1 million cups of coffee, so she's really wired. I'm just kidding. Making her very first appearance here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'd like to introduce everybody to the Executive Director of the Wenatchee Downtown Association, Linda Haglin.
It's nice my first appearance this week.
Yeah, nice meeting you. How you doing?
Thank you. Good.
The Hort folks came and went. Good to have them again. The annual horticultural convention returned to the Wenatchee Valley. It's been a while. For those who don't remember, or maybe it slipped out of your mind, it used to be every other year, Yakima, Wenatchee, and then a few years ago, the Tri-Cities got into the rotation. So instead of having it every other year, it's now every third year when Wenatchee gets it. And then we had COVID, and there was all kinds of issues. So there was We hadn't had it for a while, but boy, this is the Hort thing. When the Hort Convention comes to the Apple Capital, it's big. It's big It's big for your organization. It's big for the town.
It is, and what I hear the most of is there is a challenge to park downtown at this week, and what I say is, anytime you have this many people infuse this community right now, it's always this time of the year, and no matter what the weather is, they come. It's a good thing. And they eat, they shop, they buy gas, they infuse this community. The Hort Convention is huge, and we embrace them every 3 years. And I think we all kind of forgot because we've been doing next to nothing, or I call it weird. We've been doing weird the last couple of years. So this is another step in that feeling things are kind of back to normal. And it's been great. It was great to have them. They're loaded out now, and we go back into that don't forget to shop local for the holidays mode. But yeah, it was great.
Is it hard to codify the economic impact? I mean, I know you're not an expert, but you're pretty well versed in this stuff. I know there's people who can figure out, okay, heads and beds, restaurants, whatever it is, and how much money flows into the Wenatchee businesses. Some folks come for the day and don't stay or eat, and some folks come for all 3 days. But from an economic impact standpoint, it's a
boost,
and
you can see it year to year. So it isn't just hotels, and it isn't just restaurants. It's really that anecdotal feeling that you get. So I kind of like it that they have to park a long ways away because they walk by all these stores and they go, oh, I didn't know this was in Wenatchee. Oh, I didn't know this. And so they come back. So the further away they park, I'm okay with that because then it allows them to walk. We do have people get a little cranky when they can't go because they go to shop for something specific and struggle to get a parking spot. But really, it's 2.5 days every 3 years. And we just embrace it because, again, like you said, it's hard to actually 100% gauge the economic impact. We just know it's big.
And to me, it's a minor inconvenience for what we get in return. And there's also this, and I know this for a fact because it's happened. There are people who come to the Hort Convention, maybe never even been to Wenatchee, they like it here. And they figure out, can I have a career in Wenatchee? Can I move here and still do what I do?
Can we vacation here? Yeah.
There's a lot of reciprocal, not just the economic impact, but reciprocally speaking. To me, it's a minor inconvenience. And the fact that they had a little bit of a town Toyota Center took some of the
They did, and they shuttled, which helped some this year. And they don't mind walking. They work outside. They don't mind walking. So it was, a minor inconvenience to have them every 3 years. We embrace it, and please come back, and
It's a good thing that the WDA, the City of Wenatchee, and the Chelan-Douglas Regional Port Authority and the PUD all get along because you guys are all in bed together on what we're going to do with the old PUD property when they pull up stakes and move out to Old Station in September. Give me a quick update on that.
We had an identified developer that they didn't move forward, and now they're rethinking for a little while, and we'll revisit the first part of the year. I'd be lying to you to tell you I wasn't worried. Right? I don't think people understand the economic impact the PUD has as far as having that many 600 plus employees infuse the downtown. The retailers are worried, the restaurants are worried, we're all worried because you can't walk through downtown any day and not see PUD employees. So losing them is huge. What will be critical is what goes in there. And I have been at the table for all of those discussions. I'm still worried. I'm worried that it will be figured out. I was asked what success looked like, and I said I'm not quite sure. I can promise you what failure looks like. Fences going up around that and it looking blight in the beginning, the start of my downtown. So I wear pom-pom.
You're right, that campus is very much the gateway
exactly,
downtown. Yeah.
Exactly. It's almost 8 acres. It's 5 buildings, and I think it's 170,000 square feet. Not that I know those numbers. And the opportunity is great, but we have to get there. We have to figure out what could be there that is best for the community. I understand it's not an easy task, but I'm worried because we're going to blink and they're going to be gone next year. And what will this be? And so there is still a lot to do.
And the longer that 7-acre site is vacant, the
harder
worse
it
it
gets.
is.
The harder it gets.
On the other hand, the PUD could have said, "See ya, we're moving, whatever." It's at least they're have their hand in it.
When they made the decision to go, I showed up at their meeting and I said, "It feels like you're doing it to us without us." And they listened to that. So they have included the Chamber, the Downtown Association, the Port in the city, and the PUD have been that three-legged stool all along. But the Chamber and the Downtown is really a critical voice for this community, and I applaud them for including us. But I'll just go back to my words. I'm worried because we're a year out from them vacating, and where are we going to be, and what's the plan? So, there's a lot of work to do still.
And again, I don't want to gild the obvious lily, but the bottom line is the PUD had outgrown that facility 20 years ago. It's amazing it hadn't happened earlier in that respect. Anyway. Downtown's looking good. Got the vibe going. Got the holiday thing going. You want to get in the Christmas spirit. Go downtown. I mean, you're doing good. New business. This gaming lounge.
Yeah,
gaming.
Yeah, Epoch.
Good buzz with Epoch.
Yeah, good buzz with Epoch. Andy Lynn and his crew. This is his baby and his brainchild, and this is his heart and soul. It is the fun. It's such a fun place for all ages. A lot of people haven't discovered it yet. It's actually between Palouse and Orondo, right? And it's right past, when you pass the old Mills Brothers building and you pass Performance, and it's right in that block, right? It's just before Performance as you walk either way, and it is called Epoch, and you just have to go in and take a look. He has a bar, he has a restaurant, it's full food, but it's a fun place to take your family or your friends, even if you aren't gamers. We just did 1 Million Cups, and he presented, and he educated us all on that, and he's open till 11. On the days he's open Wednesday through Sunday, and he's there till 11. So
the hours are 3 to 11.
Yeah.
So a nightlife in downtown Wenatchee.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And I think on the weekends, on Friday and Saturday, I think he opens at 1 maybe, or opens a little earlier. But Andy's just super fun. We just completed something last Saturday that we tried, and it was called the Downtown Cookie Stroll. I called it a wine walk with cookies. So La Vienne was our sponsor. We bought these beautiful gold gallon tins, and you bought a 10 and you went to 13 locations because we did a baker's dozen. It's our first year. And the 13th location was Firehouse because you got a cookie for your dog. And so we sold out of the 100 tins, but Andy participated in that. He opened early at 10 o'clock. So from 10 until 3, you could take your 10 and you go place to place. And he said, people walked in and said, "Oh my gosh, when did this open?" So when we do events like that, it really is an opportunity for you to get into downtown in some of these stores. And they had their gold tins. It was a super fun day. I will tell you a special shout out to one of my property owners, and his name is Todd Keys. If you know Todd in this community, he and Amy, just super good people. They own the building that my office is in. He arranged to have students from Eastmont, Wenatchee come and sing Carol last weekend, and they'll come again this weekend. I mean, that mood, that festive, the sun was out. Oh my gosh, it was such a great day downtown, and it will be again. And we're just going to do our best to make this a hometown downtown Christmas, and just prompt you and ask you to keep it local and shop local, because these merchants, this is harvest, right? From our businesses downtown, they need you right now. And so be mindful when you're doing your gift giving, even if it's a gift card. Just be mindful, because there's great places, and if you haven't been downtown in a while, go. There's so many fun things to do.
I got a funny story for you. A regular viewer of this program, he and his wife and the family just moved to the Wenatchee Valley like about a year ago. I think it was right before Christmas of last year. And they love it here. And both got jobs at CWH. And they wanted to see the movie Devotion, which the aerial scenes that were shot in Wenatchee over the valley with Pangborn as the base. And so they went online to Sunbase, to the website, and they bought their tickets online. And it wasn't, and then they drove out to the Gateway, and they realized that they actually bought them at the Liberty. And Wenatchee has a movie theater downtown. And I said, yes, they do. I said, where we came from, we have movie theaters, just like Wenatchee, but they were in a strip mall out in the middle of nowhere. You got a theater downtown. We got a theater downtown.
We do. It's a beautiful theater, and I have to applaud Brian and Ann Cook how they have kept it relevant and renovated it. And I love going to the Liberty. I mean, the Gateway's great, but I love to park and go in, and then you can go to a movie. You're downtown. You're right. And speaking of theaters, I'm going to throw one at you.
Please.
I have a building for sale downtown that a lot of people have forgotten about. The historic name is the Rialto Theater. And the Rialto Theater building, I have a picture in 1942 where it premiered Tarzan on the marquee. But the Rialto Theater is my only building downtown for sale and my only vacant space. You might see construction going on in other buildings, but they have plans. This one is vacant. It's between Palouse and Orondo on the east side of the street, just before the Community Foundation. It needs some love. If you want to be a part of a great downtown, buy this building and fix it, because it's such great opportunity. I think you have a little history in that building maybe at one time.
I do.
And so it's full of opportunity and possibility. But yeah, that was another theater downtown. So we had two at one time. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, I had the Vitaphone too, I guess, at one point. You're going to be hanging up the spokes and watching Matlock and playing shuffleboard and whatever else a retired people do in February. So the process to replace you has been well underway. Walk me through the new executive director of the WDA. Where are we at with that?
So they hope to have a new executive director. The goal is by mid-January. I'll be departing the end of February, and that will allow them to start in mid-February and have some overlap. It's really fun. First of all, we're not retirement people. I'm not retirement people. I'm not on my way to Arizona. I'm just saying, no offense to anybody that is, that's not us. We're not going to sell everything and get in a motorhome. We'd probably kill each other in short of a week if we did that. So we have roots here. We have deep roots here. I'm not going anywhere. But what I hope to be able to do is I hope to be able to do some of the things I'm passionate about, because I've said to people I have way too much gas in my tank to run out, and I like to spend money too much to not have any. So I plan to do a little something, but Dan, I really believe that those of us who do these great jobs, if we don't step aside, we don't raise leaders. Somebody gave me a chance 11 and a half years ago to do this job. Somebody stepped away, I could apply, and I could bring myself into a downtown that I love. It's time for that to happen again. So I look forward with hopeful anticipation for downtown into the future. We need a new leader. We need someone to take us into the future. I could do this forever, but that's not good for these organizations. So I'm looking forward to what downtown's what's next is.
We've had some good ones. You, Allison Williams was fantabulous as the executive director.
Kathy Allen.
I mean, we've got some real talent there.
Yeah, and there really hasn't been very many. And at Pennington, Pitts now did it for a while, and Sarah Dempsey did it for a while. Way back, Diane Cornell did it for a little while.
I think Allison took over from Diane. This is like in the 80s, or late 80s.
I always got to say I got to walk on a path that was paved already, and I just got to build some new things on that trail. So we've paved a good path. Our organization is strong and healthy, and it will be an exciting time for someone to take this and go, okay, I have some great ideas for downtown. And it's good for the retailers, too, to have new vision. And I'm excited. I'm not worried about I'll do something because I just have way too much energy not to.
Well, you just had 1 million cups of coffee.
I did. I just had 1 million cups of coffee. I'm looking forward to my what's next as well.
Let me, a couple of quick questions in regard to that. Final decision goes to the board. The WDA board will be
in January.
In January, so they'll be doing the interview thing. And of course, this is a high-profile gig. This is, you can't be a wallflower. You're out there every day. You're promoting downtown. You're writing grant applications. This is one of the higher profile jobs in North Central Washington.
And we're in the middle of economic development. See, we really are an economic development-driven organization. We're new business in old buildings, right? We promote that. But here's the other challenge. I have said, especially the past 2 years, I haven't had the luxury of an opinion. I have to do exactly what I know what we need to do. So we get along with everybody because we need to get along with everybody. We hear the voices. We're that advocate for these small businesses that it's still not an easy gig for them. coming out of COVID. And so it needs to be someone willing to be out there and connecting. I'm in a store every day of some kind. And the other thing that I think is critical is that it's not a work from home job. It's present. I am present. You've got to be present. I'm at a lot of things, right? And the reason I'm at a lot of things because I need to keep downtown top of mind in this community. And the way I do that is I'm there. Someone gave me good advice once is that I wear one brand, and my one brand is downtown. So when I show up to talk to you, I'm showing up. Now, I'm involved in other nonprofits in this community that I'm passionate about, but I raise money for one, and that's the downtown. And so that's another part of this job, that nonprofits are a little different animals. So we'll see. It'll be fun.
Speaking of nonprofits, and the NCW Community Foundation of Central Washington, their offices are downtown. Goodfellows moved downtown, which I like to see those professional offices downtown. I wanted to give a shout out to Beth and those folks.
We're a part of Give FCW, the downtown, if you want to support the downtown. But if you want to see, the largest way we get supported is through a program called the Main Street Tax Credit Incentive Program. If you pay B&O tax, you can make a contribution you can register with the Department of Revenue, make a contribution to a Main Street like ours, and then it is a 75% tax credit in January. So you can redirect a tax you probably don't enjoy paying. So what does that money go to? Did you like the new mural downtown? Remember when we stood out in front of it and said, we're going to do a mural? It's done. We got a new community Christmas tree. Now granted, it's not live, but it's something. And we were able to buy and do some of these things. We're going to do a great program next year where we're going to engage nonprofits into able to raise some money to adopt downtown, and that information will come maybe before I go or maybe after I go, but we're going to funnel some of that money back in to just make downtown beautiful, and we need a little help doing that, and so that's where that money goes. It allows us to give back. But I'm going to tell you something I'm proud of, and I haven't given this number to anybody. You're my first. Ooh. It's a secret, not really. But we do that little Heroes banner project.
Yep.
And so all the money we collect beyond the making of the banners, and they're made locally at Go USA, but all the money we collect beyond the making of that banner goes back to Veteran Services. After this year, which is our 5th year, we have given back over $22,000 to Veteran Services. That's a nonprofit giving to another nonprofit. That's good community.
2 more items, then we'll cut Linda loose because she's got to go get some coffee. Running out of juice. Mark Kulas, a mutual friend of both of ours, made a very important point when they had the dedication ceremony for the new remodeled City Hall, right across the street, by the way, from our studios. He said there was no question in their mind that it needed to be downtown, and it should also be pointed out that the Wenatchee City Services were kind of scattered in different buildings all over the city. Now you have a huge swath of city employees under one roof, working downtown, eating downtown, being downtown, instead of being out on McKittrick Street or wherever it is. That's big too, isn't it?
Well, it is. And for the consumer, for someone trying to get information, pay their bill, it's so much easier, but particularly we send them one place. It was a little confusing. So if you needed a business license or you wanted to talk to somebody and Public Works was here and this was there, now they're all under one house. But I have to congratulate the city. I was there freezing with you for half an hour outside. And your brother owes me, by the way, because I was cold.
He owes me too, though. Yeah, but that's another story.
We were
altogether.
Freezing out there, but what was really crystal clear is that was a risk.
A sizable risk. It was a $14 million
between
remodel.
Localtel and the city. It was a risk. The fact that came in on budget and on time is nothing short of a miracle. So the city of Wenatchee needs to be applauded for that. But I think the other thing that it was looking at that building and trying to have vision. So I go back to Steve King. I go back to those, again, who paved that way with the city of Wenatchee to make that happen. I was incredibly impressed. A beautiful building.
We've already, around the bullpen here, we've been talking about the fire station. What the possibilities there.
I can't wait.
Now, it was for sale, and it was listed, and then that's no longer listed, so they're out there. And I'm not going to I got some inside information I can't tell you about, but the potential of that building and the old Wenatchee Police Department directly across the street.
Can you imagine?
Oh,
that
geez.
synergy right here on this block, which then does what we always wanted to do, is pull downtown up, right? Not just that one vibe on one street. It pulls it up to Chelan and Mission, and so fun.
Speaking of making dreams a reality, one last thing will cut you loose as the holiday season. Take it from somebody who knows. A lot of these downtown businesses they're almost all independently mom and pop store, if you will, open on Sundays. Most of them are, right?
Yes.
For retail business.
So take a look, look at their website or their social media platforms. They're open Sundays. It gives you another opportunity. And I just have a little challenge for you. When you go in on Sunday, thank them for being open Sunday. Thank them for caring enough about this community to keep doing what they do, because being a small business owner is not for the faint of heart. They've had a hard time, and yeah, we're all coming out of it, but just that smile and thank you means a ton to the Marcy Collins and the Peggy Nichols and the Mark and Kathy Balls, those people downtown who do this day in and day out because they love this community and love what they do. Chance to say thank you and Merry Christmas.
A lot of cities don't have a downtown, or they have a downtown that consists of a bunch of buildings that are all boarded up. Not the case here.
Not the case here.
Merry Christmas, Happy
Merry
Holidays,
Christmas,
all
thank
that
you.
good stuff.
I'll come back before I'm gone. How about that?
Absolutely. No, you have an open invitation to come.
Yeah. I'll come back before I'm gone.
You're like Regis Philbin. Whenever I get a last-second cancellation, I just call Linda up, and in she is. Linda Haglund, the Executive Director of the Wenatchee Downtown Association. And
Merry Christmas, all.
We will be right back.
The holiday season is here, and life is hectic. Let Merry Maids help simplify yours. You expect a lot, and Merry Maids delivers more. They'll make your home or business sparkle for holiday parties, special events, and family gatherings. They'll customize the cleaning to fit your needs and your budget. Merry Maids are cleaning experts. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. Best of all, your satisfaction is always guaranteed. Visit online, merrymaids.com, and call for a free estimate. Then you can relax. It's done.
Small town holidays wouldn't be complete without a visit to Kelly's Classic Ace Hardware Store. From the minute you walk through the door, you'll feel the difference. Kelly's revives the days of personal service lost in the big box stores of today. Kelly's Ace Hardware in classic downtown Chelan.
The magic of the holidays is in iconic Lake Chelan. Breathtaking light displays, Santa parades, fireworks. Celebrate local with Plaid Fridays. Information at smalltownholidays.com.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full-swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Call Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
Still lots of clouds, still lots of fog, lots of mist. It is 18 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. One more forecast to wrap up the show here in just a couple of minutes, but I want to give you the latest information that we have on that significant structure fire in the Monitor area. There's the footage from early this morning. Don't have a lot of information still. We know it's an older brick structure that may have been repurposed for other usages. In the meantime, there is a shelter-in-place recommendation is up and running for the folks in the Monitor area and the Sleepy Hollow area, for that matter. They're asking people to avoid the smoke. It's not good for you. And also, the road is still closed. The road in Main Street in Monitor, basically it's closed from the intersection of Highway 2 in Monitor to Warehouse Road and Pioneer Way. That's just past the railroad tracks. As they continue to take a look at that fire, we will have as much information as we can get to you throughout the course of the day today on this fire. So stay close to our Facebook page and to our homepage, and we'll be in touch with the fire authorities and give you the information that we think is pertinent to pass along to you. All right, from Apple Valley Honda and the National Weather Service one more time. It is cloudy and foggy and misty, but it's supposed to burn off again. Mid-morning or so, then sunshine in the afternoon, but cooler than yesterday, only 28. We got to 33 on Wednesday. 17 for the overnight low, continuing cooling trend. We're only going to get to 23 and then 20. Then we warm up a little bit on Sunday and Monday. And again, the National Weather Service simply is saying, quite frankly and honestly, they really don't know what may happen Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll keep a close eye on that. Could be just cold or it could be snow. Don't know yet. That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.